I'm gonna be here all day and week.
It's Vipers!
I'm gonna be here with my kids.
Hey, proud of your boy.
How much is this hat?
$100. You get a free stop sticker with every purchase.
Are they all the same size?
Yes, sir. Don't forget that sticker here.
All right, thanks, man.
What's your rate? Sorry, bud.
We can still do. No one's going to beat us.
We have people.
In the morning! There is at least 6 of us. There's at least 6 of us.
Tell them about some black day.
All right, I don't usually do political attire, but I grabbed a Trump hat so that I don't keep getting too heavily questioned being here. But I'm following around a group of streamers and internet personalities. Let's see what's going to happen. All right, I'm live. Shout yourself out to my platform.
Hey guys, I'm Taylor Shapiro on Polish American Brotherhood on YouTube.
Shout yourself out.
I am Taylor. I'm at Taylor USA on all platforms, and I do Baby Lives Matter on Infiltrate Antifa.
And I'm Wooza. I'm on DLive.tv/Wooza. I'm a live streamer. I do IRL. And on Twitter is KingBoo67.
All right. Are you
Yeah, I'm American Brace and I stream on D-Live. Check out Pure Politics on YouTube.
right on?
Alright.
Oh yeah, I just ran into these guys and just rolling around.
Is he actually the big Oscar right now? Acetone and a lighter.
Oh, you gonna burn the flag, huh?
You guys got it all together.
You better watch out. Enrique just got arrested for that today. So I just.
Freedom of speech, and I see BLM is a domestic terrorist organization. We won't tolerate that shit around here.
I agree. The only thing I've seen out of BLM is violence and hatred. So I just happened to roll up on these internet personalities. So I'm gonna roll around with them for a little bit. See if we can film some shenanigans.
Where are you guys from?
So I'm amazed by how many dump trucks and how many big heavy equipment vehicles DC has. Because they have, like, even the streets that aren't shut down. There's another one right up there. They have them parked all over town to just so they can get ready to shut down any street they want to. Man, you guys, there's a lot of people in BC right now for this event. It's gonna be crazy tomorrow. Solo, are you in here? Are you in here, Solo?
American Airlines, bro. Never had a problem with them. In 5 minutes, takes me out. Okay, well, there's an outbound flight. Yeah. We can get you there at 6. Okay, that works. Thank you.
Got a lot of live streamers. It's not my normal role. I usually stay away from all the other cameras and go do my own thing.
Hold on.
She said she was Polish American. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's because there's a crack right there.
I got you.
All right.
Hold my flag for me.
Oh, I'm doing it, bro. We film on mine as well. Thanks, brother. Can you film, double film?
Like this?
Oh, no, here. Just literally just hold it like that.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, bro.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my good friend and the leader of the Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio, was a political prisoner today. Thank God he's been released from jail, but the hunt against Enrique Tarrio continues. Unfortunately, I'm all too familiar with this. Democrats are still trying to put me in jail in this town, but fuck them. What happened today to Enrique Tarrio is really something incredible. Now, they banned him from Washington, D.C. Now, when I had to deal with my court cases, the prosecution tried to do the same thing to me, ban me from the District of Columbia, ban me. 2 judges said that was illegal, so they couldn't get away with it. But now they've done it to Enrique Tarrio. Now, what is Enrique Tarrio's big crime? Did he riot in the city and destroy private property and assault people? No, that was not Enrique Tarrio. That was the Democrats. That was the leftists. No, Enrique Tarrio's big crime was burning a Black Lives Matter flag. Now, it doesn't matter that Antifa or Black Lives Matter can come out and burn American flags or really do whatever the hell they want and nobody gets arrested. Hell, they go terrorize senators' houses now and still nobody gets arrested. But Enrique Tarrio burns the Black Lives Matter flag, which I'm not even sure he actually did it. I think he just took credit from it or for it because the Proud Boys did it. But nonetheless, so what we decided to do, oh, and by the way, I would love to see the prosecution against Enrique Tarrio produce the receipt for that $2 piece of toilet paper, Black Lives Matter flag that he burned. I'd love to see a receipt for that. You know they can't do it, it's all fake news. But what we have here is an example of the Black Lives Matter flag that Enrique burned. Now, my good friend, who has the best hair in media, better than me, barely by a little though, he is going to, well, first of all, how much did this cost?
It costs $5. I ordered it.
$5. This cost $5. $5. Oh my gosh, $5. Enrique's big crime, burning a $5 flag. My God. Oh, but all the businesses that are going broke and livelihoods destroyed, don't worry about that. It's a $5 flag we should worry about. But we want to do a tribute to Enrique Tarrio for being such a strong fighter and for doing such a great job as the new leader of the Proud Boys, quite frankly, ever since Gavin McInnes had to step aside. So, my good friend Taylor here is going to do a little Black Lives Matter enrichment ceremony. Who wants to see this flag?
So, to my audience, I just want to say that I'm not a fan of desecrating symbols or I'm not a fan of desecrating symbols. I'm here filming. I'm not taking part of this. I'm filming.
What the fuck is going on here, dude? Dirt on it. Yeah.
Triple up on it.
Fuck Antifa. Fuck Antifa.
Antifa can burn the American flag, but we can burn this propaganda bullshit. Yeah.
Woo!
Fuck Antifa! Fuck Antifa! Fuck Antifa! Fuck Antifa! Fuck Antifa! Fuck Antifa! Fuck Antifa!
They don't like that we're burning the Black Lives Matter. These are the very police.
Somebody shame those
When the city was burning, I guess. Whoa, whoa. When the city was burning, you cannot burn a flag, but you can burn the city, huh?
Oh, now you guys care. Now you guys care. What about the American flag?
Why don't you guys do this when people burn the American flag?
You guys will let them assault businesses, city officials.
I'm filming.
We're sick of this crap. We're sick of you.
I don't actually take part in desecrating symbols. I don't think it's a good thing to do. But why aren't you guys doing this when people burn the American flag? Why aren't you guys doing this when they burn the American flag? I've never seen you guys do this when they burn the American flag. When people burn the American flag, you guys don't do this. Why don't you guys take these actions when they burn the American flag? No comment? Officer, why don't you put out the fires of the American flag that the BLM and Antifa burned? Officer, you just poured a bottle of water to put out the fire of the ashes of that BLM flag. Why don't you do that when they burn the American flag? Officers, why don't you do this when they burn the American flag?
Can you go this way, please? No, sir, this way. Thank you.
Why don't you guys do this when they burn the American flag?
Move back. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Officers, why don't you do this when they burn the American flag? Why don't you guys do this when they burn the American flag? Why don't you guys step in when they burn the American flag? No comment, no comment.
Dude, was that really necessary to fucking shove?
Again, for my audience, I am not a fan of desecrating symbols and flags and statues of anybody's. I'm not a fan of the desecration of symbols. But why are the officers taking this stance when they burn the Black Lives Matter flag in a sign of political a statement? But when people are burning the American flag and they outright say that they hate America, why are they not doing anything about that? Why is it a hate crime when Enrique Tarrio burns a Black Lives Matter flag, but it's not a hate crime when other people burn the American flag and they say that they hate America? Officers, why don't you do this when they burn the American flag?
Shameful. No, hell no. Back the blue. Hell no. No, back the blue. No. Hell no. As soon as we light that shit on fire. No, I don't give a damn what they do. Back the blue.
No. 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 We support virtuous people. We don't blanket statement groups of people. Are you a cop? Are you a cop? Are you a cop?
You're a goofball. You're a fucking goofball. Fuck the blue. Fuck the blue.
Did you?
Hey, we back them if they back us. They're not backing us. They're not backing us.
Do not back the blue.
Back the 100%.
No.
Thank you.
100%.
You guys are sick. Know what it is.
Have you? Did you see? Did you?
No. They are breaking. They are breaking their oath to the Constitution. They just assaulted all these Trump supporters, dude. Do not know about the fucking Constitution. They just wait. They serve us.
Hold on. Let's have a dialogue. One at a time. Let's have a dialogue. Let's dialogue.
Yes. These gentlemen who are supposed to be taking an oath to the Constitution broke their oath to the Constitution by assaulting Trump supporters. We are allowed to burn a fucking flag. That is a free protest. BLM burns down cities, loots, destroys communities. We're not doing that, okay? So they shouldn't be putting fucking hands on us. If they break their oath to the Constitution,
Fuck them.
Okay.
We back the blue. If they back us, they serve us.
My turn.
And you just want to serve them no matter what. And I disagree. Go ahead.
Okay, so you're telling me you came up and assaulted you. They assaulted you without any reason to do so.
Correct. Yes,
They just
correct.
walked right up to you and just put their hands
Correct.
on you for no apparent
Yes,
reason.
correct.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me that you say that because I completely don't believe that.
So I'm a liar. He's a liar. He's a liar. She's a liar.
If
He's a liar.
is it your?
Okay.
Do you feel as though they didn't have a cause, or did they actually not?
They had no cause. They literally I was about 50 feet away.
Let me ask you, did you see what the officers did in Salem, Oregon on last Friday and on December 21st?
No, I didn't.
Do you think that it's a ludicrous thing to say that all cops are bastards?
Yes.
Yeah, only Siths deal in absolute. Star Trek there. Star Wars. It's also just as fallacious to say back to blue, unquestionable. It's also just as fallacious to say all cops are angels.
No, wait. So, yes. So, number one, I did not say all cops are angels, and I agree with you because that's not true. Also, I don't say back the blue without question. I say I definitely back the blue, however, because of the reputation that the blue has. I didn't say unquestioned. I said I definitely back the blue because of the reputation that the blue has all across this damn country.
Yes,
So I didn't say unquestioned.
Okay, but we just saw the crowd here burn a Black Lives Matter flag.
Okay.
We've seen hundreds of American flags burned
Right.
in the last year.
Right. Wait a minute.
We've seen hundreds of American flags burnt,
Right.
and the police do not do that.
Okay.
They were burning a Black Lives Matter flag, and the police came up and started pushing people and shoving people and attacking people. Why the double standard? Why did you come in that moment and say back to blue?
So, if depending on what they did, you have the interpretation that they were not justified in what they did. So perhaps you're right, or perhaps you're wrong.
Do you think they
Either
were?
way, I didn't see what they did.
If you didn't see what you did, why did you come running in saying back to blue?
Because of the reputation that the blue has all across the country. Because of the 99.9% interactions that police have with people that are positive. That's why.
I don't think that.
I didn't say. say
Let's do a poll here.
I didn't say
Let's
that
do a
they're-
poll. Everybody around here, has your experience with police been majority good or majority bad?
I'm a retired U.S. Marine.
So again, again, does that mean that every single action a police officer does is good or justified? Absolutely not. We're all humans. We all do wrong things. However, the reason I came over here vehemently stating back the blue while others were stating to not black the blue is because of their reputation that they have for years and years. The reputation that the blue has in many cities of the whole country.
My perception throughout my life has that officers, the majority, who feels good when they see sirens in the rearview mirror?
Not a lot of people.
I do.
What's your point?
You do? When you see sirens in your rearview mirror, it makes you feel good?
Here's the deal. Regardless of whether you feel good or not, what's your point?
My point is people have a perception of bad interactions with the police. So when you see the sirens in your rearview mirror, the lights, you know that that's not going to turn out good for you.
It depends on the person you are.
That is completely false.
Okay, we have a
Just because you have fear doesn't mean it's going to turn out negatively.
But-
you have fear because you know they have the power to write you a ticket, to arrest you, to detain you. So it's a natural fear.
Arbitrarily.
Yes, it's a natural fear that you have. Just because you have fear doesn't mean that it's going to turn out
I
negatively.
didn't say fear.
Okay.
I said that how do you experience that when you see
you
them?
said, yeah, when they
When you
put the
see
lights
them,
on
is it a good sensation that you're going to have an interaction with the cop, or is it a bad feeling that you're going to have an interaction with a cop?
Let's say that it's 100% of the time a bad sensation. What's your point? Just because you have a bad sensation, a lot of people have a bad sensation about taking a plane every single time they take off. It doesn't mean the thing is going to crash.
So the best dialogue happens when we acknowledge our where we disagree. And where you and I disagree is you think the majority of interactions with police is good. I think the majority of interactions with police are bad. I have found the majority of police to have God complexes and to intimidate and disrespect the populace.
Let me reiterate my point. The majority is 50% above. I don't believe that. I believe the by and large, vast majority of interactions with police. In other words, I'm in upwards of 98% of interactions with police are positive. Now, you may be less than 50%. I don't know where on earth you get that from. I don't know how many times you've interacted with police. And I don't know how many times you've witnessed on video or in person people's interaction with police. But for you to say less than 50%, totally ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. Absolutely false. We are positive interactions with people and police is well above 95%. Well above.
And that's your perception. That's not a fact. That's your perception. And my perception is not the same. My perception is that police are largely abusing their powers and disrespecting the people.
Fair enough. I mean, sure. I mean, you can have that perspective.
I live in Portland, Oregon.
Perspective. That's all right.
I'm gonna
respect your right to be wrong. And
May
you
I
have that right.
interject? May I interject?
Okay, yeah, well, hey, let's.
Thank you.
Nice chatting with you, brother.
They have now, they're up to 9. He's like me, just have 3 by 12 those.
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it, buddy.
You have the right to be wrong.
God bless you.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
Even though he's wrong this
Yeah,
time.
for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of an arrogant thing to say.
I like his style. I mean, I like that kind of dialogue. Seeing that.
Yeah, I think that we should find out where we disagree and have heavy debates about it so that we can come together and sharpen each other.
First rally I was at in Washington, the Antifa guys were on one side of the barricade, the truck guys were coming in from Capitol, and I'm up the same on the Segway, you know, and they're coming through, and they're like, "Fuck you," and they're getting real close, you know, and the Capitol cops just watching. And as soon as a fist fight, they're on it. And then they pull them out, and nobody sees it because there's so many people. But I said, why y'all just talk about it? What is fascism anyway? And they started talking about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to feel that, like, all right, dialogue, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I live in Texas, and the police are good in Texas. You live in Portland, that's your choice, right? You choose to live in Portland. Like, that's a terrible place to live if you like freedom, the Constitution, America in general.
That argument to where you just need to uproot and go somebody else.
I'm not saying that at all.
Okay, but that is the core of your argument. You said that it was my choice to live there.
What is your choice to live there?
It is, but that argument is fallacious. It's people can't just uproot their lives that easy. And I can't. I choose to stay in Portland. I've been documenting these riots and documenting this craziness for 8 months. But that argument that people can just uproot, like most people live paycheck to paycheck in America, and they don't have that option.
That's no, and I think what she was, if I understood her correctly, I think what she was trying to say was it's probably more of a struggle for you to trust police in a Portland police situation where they aren't as friendly to.
It's been my whole life. It's been my whole my majority of my actually I've known several police officers personally, and every personal police officer that I've interacted with on a personal level, they've been really good people. But in conversations, they also say that they will enforce a rule, and it's not their place to decide whether or not that rule needs to be enforced. They say that it's not me, it's not my place to decide whether, and they're willing to just obey rules. We've seen this last year. We've seen cops arrest people for having outdoor church gatherings. We've seen more and more videos happening all over the U.S. and Canada of cops busting into people's houses and arresting them violently for having too many people in their house. It's ludicrous. So for somebody to run into that situation where they're burning a Black Lives Matter flag and start screaming "Back the Blue," that was ludicrous to me.
I hear you.
I love the good cops. I do.
I don't disagree with you. What I'm saying is there are more good cops than there are bad cops. And so what we have to do is give cops back the power that has been robbed from them by these these corrupt mayors and governors and everybody that are giving them orders. Because I was here in November, I was here in December, and I was out with the Proud Boys all night until 3 a.m.
Me too.
Yeah, and I talked to all the cops all night long. I talked to the SWAT team members as they came down with their snipers off the rooftops as the everything winded down at the end of the night. And they told me straight up, they've been out here every single night with overtime. They're getting so much pay, and they're just so tired. And they're not allowed to push back against Antifa. They're not allowed to push back against BLM because they will get killed. And if they push back against them, they get hurt. They don't get to go home to their wives and their families. And what they do is if they push back, those motherfuckers take their helmets off, they take their masks off, they take pictures of them, and they go and they kill their wives and their kids, their
That's
babies.
not true.
It is true.
That's not true.
And
That is not true.
Well, you can say that.
No, that is factually not true. There's nobody going killing cops' wives and children. That just has not happened.
They've had to resign from the DC police. They've had to move. They've had to uproot their entire lives. And you say that's not always possible for people. What if it's not possible for them and they're being made to do it because they're being doxxed. They're putting on live streams on these BLM channels, and now they're a police officer that's pushed back against BLM, and now they're doxxed. What happens now to them? You don't know. You can't, you're not following all that around. You're just saying that's factually untrue just based on your opinions about something.
No. You made a claim that police officers' wives and children were getting killed, and that is not true. That's a different statement.
Their lives are being threatened against being killed.
Yes, that is true.
Okay, yes.
But there are officers like Greg Anderson out of Seattle Police Department that spoke out and called out, and he called his brothers out and said, you need to stop enforcing unconstitutional rules. And they fired him for that because he refused to shut up.
Well, good for him. But
yes.
There are some people who do not have those kind of brass balls.
That's not okay. It's not okay. It's not a regular job. They're not plumbers. They're not grocery store clerks. They're not construction workers. They took a job. They have no right to value their job and their pension and their family over the oath that they took. If they want to put those first, they have to take a different job. You cannot.
That's the way you feel about it. But in America, we're allowed to feel differently.
If you don't like where you live and it's really a struggle for you, maybe you should take your energy and your money and go get a different job in a different town. I mean, does it only work for one group?
You're conflating two different issues. One is uprooting your life. One is no. Wait a second. You're actually arguing with me, and you're blaming me for arguing. You are also arguing. We're having a debate. You are also arguing. So one, you're conflating two different things. Leaving a city and going to another city versus staying in your city and getting a different job. Those are two different things, and you're conflating them.
No, I really wasn't.
No one was.
I'm married to a Marine. We got up and we moved every 2 or 3 years.
We sacrificed. So that everybody could have
their... We were in debt all the time. The military didn't pay for all that, but we did it because we wanted to do the job.
The military didn't pay your moving expenses when they made you move?
They don't pay all the money. Absolutely not. They don't pay all your rent when you get there. They don't pay for the groceries. You had to leave behind for the groceries. You had to get there. They didn't pay much back there. We'll talk about
Well, thank you for your husband's service.
Thank you for being out here. But I don't find it helpful if you keep finding like a sentence or a word. When you
No.
something else and you go, oh, you said something. So then you switch. You pick
No, it's on video. This is a live stream, so anybody can go back and watch this. You can twist my words. I was not being overcritical of a word or a sentence. She made a claim, and I called her out that it was wrong, and I showed that it was wrong.
You're making claims that I call out for you and show that they're wrong. So I'm going to wish you a good night.
I was literally just quoting people that I talked to from the SWAT team.
You said that cops are having their wives and children killed, and that is not true. That's not true.
Well, that's literally what I was told.
So you follow all the cops and families.
Every single one of them.
City, and you were there the night that cop told her that.
Make the claim. Back your claim up. You're saying that you're saying that
numbers, and I'm not going to because
it would be national news if a cop's wife and children were targeted for murder.
Adorable because national news is fake news. So that's really cute that you would say it would make.
All right, ladies, you are irrational and you're not worth talking to because you just keep talking in circles. Yeah, I'm. No, this is all live feed. The whole audience. There's 200. There's 600 people watching this. You can say whatever you want. We'll let the audience. We'll let the villain report. Villain report. Yes. So you can twist the words all you want, but it's recorded. You can't just gaslight me. It's all on video. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch it. I'm not a leftist. I'm a centrist leaning right. Bye-bye. Those ladies were irrational and emotional and could not handle their own conversations, making fallacious claims and then not admitting them when they got pointed out. So you guys in my chat that are watching live feeds, while I was in that drama, everybody left. Where is the drama going on right now that I can go film? Thanks, Doug610 for the super chat. Thanks, Angry Miss Lady for the super chat. I know I saw another one in there a little bit ago. I read it, but I was in the middle of a discourse, so. Solo's in here. Make a comment, Solo. Boom, gotcha. So I literally, like, one of the things I hate worse in my life, because I'm a really trusting in some ways. I'm really like paranoid and distrustful and suspect on a lot of part of my personality. But when interacting with people one-on-one, I naturally just deeply just tend to trust people, and I'm gullible. And I hate it when people lie to my face or gaslight me. It's just because, like, you're betraying my trust, and I hate that. BLM Plaza is popping off. Man, I can't go there by myself. Where did that streamer group go? Are you guys watching the other streams? Got a super chat from Paradigm Prophecy. You are a centrist leaning right. I found my home. Where are there more of us? Oh, Roxy sent me a $50 super chat. Thank you so much. You got a Potato Man cartoon on there. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So is anybody watching those other live streamers that were all around us a second ago? Did they go somewhere else? Is there something going on? So I'm gonna go on some rants here real quick for some stuff. I've been you guys know me and I'm a hot mess. Thank you, Karen Taylor, for $20 super chat. Appreciate that. I'm gonna rant a little bit. I'm gonna explain some of the events that happened in the last couple weeks. So I want to talk about the Proud Boys right now. I have been looking into the Proud Boys, and at first I was very, very, very hesitant to have any association with them whatsoever, because I didn't know if all the rumors and stories about them were true or not, and I didn't want to attach myself to something that might have been possibly as bad as they're saying they were. I have thoroughly met Proud Boy after Proud Boy after Proud Boy. And these men are rowdy. They're masculine, rugged men for the most part, and they like to fight and they like to drink, but they are not white supremacists. They are not racist. They are not hateful. Granted, there's always going to be a faction in every system of human interaction. Every system of human action is going to have some outliers. So there's always going to be outliers. But as a whole, I have found the Proud Boys to be respectful men. A lot of them are very, very disciplined Catholics. The stories that are being told about them are just not true. I've looked, I've searched for it. I've tried to dig it up. I've tried to find the dirt on them, and I have not found it. Yeah, you're going to find one crazy Proud Boy here and there that is trouble, and there are pockets of them in the country that are not representative of the whole at all. But in general, these guys are just men that are not apologizing for being men. And I like that. Yeah, they're a little bit quick to fight. You guys have seen my stream. I've almost got jumped by several of them multiple times, 3 or 4 times now. But I've never gotten jumped by them. But I want to talk about DC on the 12th. So on the 12th, I filmed that video of the Proud Boys, and the news made it out to see. They chose select clips of my video without my input or my permission whatsoever, and they clipped it and made it seem like the Proud Boys were attacking innocent people. They made it seem like the Proud Boys were attacking an innocent girlfriend and boyfriend. What happened there, if you guys care to know, and I'll make some shorter videos later so that this can get out, what happened there was there was a group of Black Bloc Antifa people walking through the area, walking towards the area that the right-wing protesters were. They were flying Black Lives Matter flags, and Proud Boys went and initiated a fight with them, a street fight. And you can think about that however you want it. If you guys saw my stream, granted I was drunk that night, But I was very, very torn because I didn't know what to think. You can say like, oh, they went and initiated a fight when the other people weren't fighting, but those people were dressed up as an Antifa gear, walking through town, flying a Black Lives Matter flag through an area where they knew like a crowd of conservatives and right-wing Trump supporters and a large group of Proud Boys were. They went in there in combat uniforms and antagonized them and provoked them. Where I had a problem with, and Proud Boys, I mean, if you guys are starting to get some prominence, and I don't know if you're transforming into something else or you're trying to go back to your roots of a drinking club and what you were, but you're starting to get notoriety across the nation. You're starting to get a little influence, and I think that maybe a little bit more discipline would help the organization out. People can have their own opinions about whether that initiation of that street brawl was right or wrong. But I think once people are beaten and down and not fighting back and trying to get away, I can't say that is, I can't find any virtue in there to keep acting like a kitten tormenting a bird or a mouse. But that wasn't an innocent couple. That was a group of about 8 black blocked Antifa marching through, flying their black flag, saying that they hate America. So you guys can watch the video. It's all over line. I'm not Antifa. I'm Villain Report. I'm a patriot.
I didn't even have to say anything for you to say that to me, so that sucks.
Well, you said fuck Antifa and then you stared me down like crazy.
Why say fuck Antifa?
Well, you have a good night. But God bless you. There's a guy walking with a giant Antifa flag over there. But anyways, I have looked and I have looked and I have looked and I have not found any of the rumors about Proud Boys, other than like a small unrepresentative faction of them, to be anything but men that are not apologizing for men. Men that are rough and rowdy and drink and fight and act like men. So that's my rant on the Proud Boys. I have no problem with the Proud Boys. You're gonna hate me because I like the Proud Boys. A lot of those guys are good guys. Well, I can't think of a Proud Boy that I personally met that I don't think is a good person. I've met them. They're good dudes. Hate me. Another thing, what's been going on in Salem with the police? So what happened on Salem on 12/21 was a group of conservatives, patriots, right-wingers, some Proud Boys in there, all different kind of people on the right. And they tried to go into the legislative session, which in Oregon, it's your constitutional right to be present at the legislative session. It's not a constitutional right to stand outside and watch it on big screen TVs. You're supposed to be in the session so that you can object. That's the purpose of being present. The police attacked the crowd as they tried to go into the building. And that's why the Salem police have been getting national negative attention. And then what happened last Friday was, and I want to make a correction here, that I was given some misinformation. So on Friday, a group of several hundred right-wingers, conservatives, patriots, whatever you want to call that crowd, marched from the Salem, Oregon State Capitol in Salem to the governor, Kate Brown's governor's mansion, about 2 miles. It was incredibly peaceful. There was an Antifa rally at the same time at a park, but they didn't have very many numbers, so they didn't do very much. Several of them came and infiltrated or just wandered around in the right-wing crowd, and nobody hurt them. On the way back, the march got about 5 blocks away from the Capitol. Now, what I originally understood was that Antifa had come out of an alleyway, about 12 of them, and started heckling the crowd, and that the crowd came over and started heckling them back, and they got into a little potential scuffle, and the police ran in out of nowhere. The police were there just amazingly fast. It was a miracle. But and what really happened was there was a crowd of about 12 Antifa standing outside a business because they believed that this business was being targeted for attack. And it turns out that there was somebody, a lone person, going around Salem and putting Patriot Front stickers. PatriotFront.us, I think, is their website. It's an actual white supremacist group in America that's gaining traction. I mentioned it a little bit when I was in Atlanta. I found one of their stickers on a light pole outside of the government building. So there was actually a person putting white supremacist stickers on a street pole. That actually did happen. But that guy had nothing to do with the majority of that crowd marching that day. So that crowd of about 12 Antifa was there, in their perception, protecting that building because they believed that white supremacists were going to target that building and attack it. The lone guy did go put a Patriot Front sticker on a pole in front of the building. So Antifa was actually minding their own business. You can look at some clips off of BC Preacher's stream that day. He got there to that little scuffle. It wasn't even a scuffle, that little drama, like a minute or so before I did. And he even mentioned on his stream that they were just minding their own business. I was under the impression, and I'd have to go watch my whole stream to like really find out why I came to that impression. I think someone told me, but the Antifa came out of an alley and started accosting the crowd. But that's not what happened. We have to be honest, and we have to just admit things, and we have to take the truth as what it is, and not just paint our enemies out to be evil, trained mustachio, damsel in distress tied to the train tracks villains. We can't do that. We have to look at the truth. And they were under the impression that business was under threat of being attacked by white supremacists. And they were just there standing in front of the business. They did not engage with the marchers as they walked by. They did not provoke anything. They didn't. It's the truth of what happened. But once that did happen, the police came and immediately turned their attention on the patriots, the conservatives, the citizens that were there marching that had been nothing but peaceful. And they got very, very aggressive. They started paintballing. I think it's talcum balls or mace balls. The crowd before an unlawful assembly had ever been announced. And then the weirdest thing that happened that day that freaked everybody out was 2 Black Lives Matter members ran up from across the street in front of the police line, and one of them had a paintball gun, assuming that has mace paintballs in it. And they started getting people's faces, and they lift their jackets up to reveal concealed guns, handguns that were on their waist holstered. They didn't unholster them, but they were brandishing them to threaten people. The police watched this. It did nothing. Nothing. A lot of people in the crowd pointed it out and asked, were outraged and why that was happening, and they pointed it out, and the police still did nothing. I don't know how long it was, somewhere between 10 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes, probably less than that because I was in the moment and your time distorts. But quite a while, they just watched them and did nothing. And then the officer that is in charge there, he's a bald man that doesn't wear a hat. He wears a neck gaiter up above his nose. And he came up and just tapped them on the shoulders politely and asked them to come to the other side of the line. It was the most crazy thing I have ever seen in the last 8 months. It looked like the Salem police were collaborating with the BLM. You guys can go watch the videos. If I get my game together a little bit more, I'll make some better videos and show all the footage and do this dialogue again with it. So that's the shenanigans going on right now. So I'm gonna go I'll look at the chat here for a second, and then I'm gonna go look for things to engage with. Is my stream not steady? Got a 99 super chat from Rock 1776. Thanks for the heads up. Text last night. Thank you, Roxanne. I appreciate that so much. It's really kind of you. I appreciate that. And R, let's shout her out again. She sent me a $50 super chat. Yeah, I need to go start actually using my footage and editing it and put it together. And yeah. Where's the action at? Go to the plaza, Black Lives Matter Plaza? Are there patriots there, or is it just Black Lives Matter? I'm not close to it.
But remember,
Oh, jeez. I think I go this way. You know which way the numbers go?
East to west. East to west.
Yeah, I don't know what that's not helpful. I got my other phone. I'll look at the map real quick. Okay. 15th. Scooters. I don't have the Bird app. Get these scooter apps figured out tonight. I've only got a couple of them. Lime. I got the Lime app, don't I? Let's see if it works. Dang it, it's not set up.